So if you're familiar with the Enneagram personality test, I'm a type number one, and that means I don't care about what other people think about me. What I care about is finding my version of truth and sticking with it and fully understanding what my version of truth is. So when it comes to the truth of being a vegan, which I've been for over 5 years, I realized that a lot of people don't actually understand what that even means to be a vegan. And I want to share this comment that I received on one of my videos about being a vegan to illustrate this point. I made a video called, "Do Most Vegans Have Type A Blood? The Blood Type Diet." And someone recently commented, like an hour ago in my real time right now, they said, quote, "I am a negative O group and didn't do well in a vegan diet. I'm now back to eating some animal foods and no grains. Too early to tell if I am any better, but eating only veggies and tofu for 18 months has made me tired and I've gained weight," end quote. So let me acknowledge that. Being a vegan does not mean that you only eat vegetables and tofu. That's a horrible idea. Don't do that. That's not what being a vegan is. That is not part of my identity as a vegan. It's not a vegan if you only eat vegetables and tofu. I am 100% against that diet. That's not what being a vegan is. So what is being a vegan? And then I want to address why that diet I do not approve of what was in that comment just then, okay? Here's what being a vegan is. And if you've watched my videos before, you've probably memorized this by now. There's 6 food groups of being a vegan, okay? Vegetables, yes. Fruits, beans, grains, nuts, and seeds. Let me say those again. Vegetables, fruits, beans, grains, nuts, seeds. That's what vegans actually eat. So this concept of that we only eat vegetables and tofu, that's not accurate. In fact, that totally makes sense why you're tired and gaining weight, because tofu is processed. Now, I will eat tofu occasionally, but it's not a staple of my diet. I recognize that tofu is processed, and the more processed food you eat, the more likely you're gonna be overweight. That's the whole thing. You can totally be an overweight vegan. You know, what is this? We're almost in August. In January, I was an overweight vegan. I'm 5'9", and I weighed 176 pounds. I was eating too much processed food as a vegan. So when you get back to eating more of those whole foods, you're less likely to be overweight. But as far as not having energy, yeah, that makes sense. If you're only eating vegetables and tofu, then you're not having any fruit. That's very important. You're not having any grains or beans. That's good protein for you and good fiber for you. And then nuts and seeds. It's important that you have that healthy fat. So yeah, if anyone out there thinks that vegans only eat vegetables and tofu, then I would say you're not describing what a vegan is. I don't even know what that is. I do not approve of that. But if you're sincerely looking at being a vegan, let me say it one last time. Here's what being a vegan means. Yes, it means you don't eat meat or eggs or dairy products. That's true. But what you do eat, vegetables, fruits, beans, grains, which is oats, wheat, rice, nuts, and seeds would be the 5th and 6th category. There, I've made it official. Now everyone knows the truth. Vegans don't just eat vegetables and tofu. They eat those other 6 things. Now truth and justice has been served.